Hey, Poodle fam. Here we are, Wednesday, September 6th. We have a good one for you today. I am excited about this. I am excited that we get to talk about the future of the token, what is going on with the project, and everyone has seen on the Telegram the changes that have been happening. And we have a new fearless leader, actually a great team coming in and helping out, keeping things moving forward. And so I had to bring Alex on the show today just to talk about what's going on. So Alex, welcome. Welcome back to the project, because I guess you were with the project for a long time, one of the very first ones, and now you're back taking the lead. So how's it feel to be back?
Well, thank you so much, Joe, for inviting me. I feel very excited. I really felt very sad when I left in the first place, but life is life. We had no choice. At the time, it was a very heated conversations between what can we do to make it happen, what can we do to make this project huge. Well, I didn't agree with what was said at the time, and then we just decided that it's better if I leave. So, but that doesn't mean, and didn't mean at the time, that I don't have this poodle at heart. I was very
Mhm.
much into it from the beginning. I am very much into it now, and I will be into it for a very, very long time. So this is not going to go away from my heart. So even though I was
Mhm.
not into it, I was still part of the system, and pretty heavily. I kept accumulating. It didn't put me down like other did. For example, we have so many people that left the project and then they kept selling their tokens. I didn't do that. I just kept buying and buying and buying. I'm buying it now. I'll keep buying it in the future, and I won't let it go. That's for sure. So, and when I came back, I was very excited because Sasha really insisted on getting me back on board. We had quite a few conversations about it, and yeah, after a long time, I think it took a couple of months for me to decide to come back. But definitely, I just decided to just put everything I have into it and just come back and help. I didn't expect at the time that Sasha is going to go. He didn't say anything about it. He just decided to go. I mean, I wasn't aware of it. But then when I found out that he actually wants to leave, I was a little bit sad, and I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that I'm going to be actually his successor in a way. I just didn't
Mhm.
expect that. I was sad, and I was trying to convince him not to, but in the end, he decided to just go. So it's
Yeah.
sad that he left, but hey, the project go on, and that's the very very important thing that we need to keep in mind here. We will go on for a very, very long time, and we'll make this very, very big. That's for sure, 100%. So,
Yep. Absolutely. And I want to say one thing that you had talked about was how you've always really still been involved just as a holder. And one thing I respected that, because I would see over time, even after you kind of left the project the first time, you would still hop in the Telegram every now and then, and I'd see a little comment here and there, or or you'd like something that we'd posted about
yeah.
something. Going, oh, he's still watching, he's still paying attention. He hasn't, he has, which is rare, and I think that that's what's great, and I do love seeing people who had an active role, but maybe they don't anymore, but still believe in the project, and I think that's the key about our
Mm.
project is how many people there really are in the background, and hopefully maybe even in this transition we can kind of relight the fire for a lot of people, and really kind of keep pushing it forward, and maybe other people will come out of the woodwork too that have been watching and just waiting for some of those other
I am sure
changes and
about it,
stuff.
Joe. I am sure about it. You'll see many,
Yeah.
many old holders, that left the project, or some of them probably they didn't even left. They just, stay on the wings, just like I did for a 2 years period, and then they will just appear when they will see that we make a 10x or 20x. They will just come on board, and then hey, hello, what are you guys doing? I still hold this poodle. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
we're going back up. You know how
Mm-hmm.
it works, right? Now
Yep.
everybody is depressed now that we have a very long and difficult bear market, Joe. This is serious, right? So everybody's just staying on side. Some of them they sold. Will they regret
Yep.
it? I don't know, but they did. But I'm sure that most of them, and I'm sure the majority of the holders, are still there on board for Poodle, you know. So I have very big hope on both projects, actually, Pet and Poodle, that they will succeed and we will really do well.
Yeah.
I'm very
No,
sure.
I totally agree. And I think it'll be interesting as we kind of come out of this, Neil. If you look historically, bear markets have typically only lasted 9 months, and we are in 27 months of a bear market. So one, that tells you that this is historically an anomaly, right? Odds are this does not happen all the time.
No, not surprising, Joe. Not surprising, considering how I mean, just look around the world. I mean, we're really having a very different scenario in our hands right now, and it's not that easy to overcome that. I mean, you have a war in Ukraine, which is looking not going to end soon, and then we have this recession on the financial market, which seems to be pretty hard. Prices dropping down, going up, everything is just crazy all over the world, and this is not going to end quickly. I still expect at least a few months very heavy bear market, but then I think that hopefully at some point next year they're going to start moving up. I mean, that's what I hope, and I think I'm going to be right in this one. We'll just see.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, we know too, just looking at how far we're into it, we have to turn at some point. And I think now when it happens, who knows, but we know we will turn. And the good thing is the last time we were in something this bad ended up becoming one of the most, if you think about like how we came out of the Great Depression, but then out of the Great Depression came one of the most significant, financial booms in history, right? When the worse things are, the better they turn. And that's
Correct.
kind of how things work. And we should be prepared for that. So, so speaking of that, people want to know, let's jump right into it. What are the plans with the project? Where are we doing? What's been happening, and where are we going?
Okay, so in terms of transition, because I think that's the most difficult process that we are still into it. We are almost there. We secured all of the wallets. The most important wallets are under our control. There is nothing left outside our team that we can say, oh, okay, so we can have this surprise. Someone can just sell from this wallet. No, nothing like that. So it's all in our control, which is very good. And by the way, because we talk about this now, I really want to thank to everyone involved into it. I mean, I don't know, Joe, if you know, but it wasn't an easy thing to do, because everything was like spread to everybody, right? And it was so difficult to centralize everything and to get everything from everybody you could, and then to centralize it into one theme, and then those people to be in control of everything. Because look at that. I mean, you just have a domain name that we don't even know who owns it, and then we have another domain name that we don't even know where is it, and then we need to find out where the domain is. But look, man, that's part of the project. So we need to secure every single thing that we can about the project have to come on our control. And now we got the control of most of it. And honestly, I'm really thankful to everybody, especially to people who didn't drop their tokens on the process. I mean, I don't know if you understand, Joe, but this is so serious. And what happened to Poodle and Pet was really on a very big scale. And hey, not many people dropped. People didn't sell. Nobody, I mean, nobody major sold anything except Sasha, a few here and there, which is his right to sell, his problem. It doesn't matter. But other than that, nobody sold. Not many people sold their tokens. We are still there where we was just days before Sasha left, So that's a very good outcome, I think, for all of us. And then in terms of securing everything, I really can't thank enough to everybody who contributed, including you. I mean, you really understood that, hey, look, now things are different. So let's just do everything very properly, very centralized, make sure that everything is in there and is safe. And then if something happened to any one of us, to me, to you, to anybody else, it doesn't matter. Project go on. We don't depend on one person. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that regardless to what happened to me or to you or to Simon or Gary or whoever is on the team, it doesn't matter. The project will go on. Everything is secure. Wallets are secure. Nobody's going to drop the token. We put the main wallet on Pet. We put it on multi-signature. We are going to do the same with the Poodle one. Every control, it's going to be checked up by few people, not just someone decide to do something and then that's it. The decision is taken. It's not going to work like that. And
Yep.
we want to make sure that that is sorted. And for that, we will probably need another few more days, I think, or probably a week or so, let's say, to have everything in our control, including all the domains. We still have few domains to get, by the way, all the domains to be in our control, and then make sure that nobody else has the control, just the team, the project, the community. That's what we want to do. And then once we have that secured, I think things are going to get excited.
Yep.
We already have some partnerships already agreed and already signs, let's say. And then as soon as we are going to finish this transition and everything is sorted, we are going to announce that to the community, and they're going to be very excited. Other than that, I think we are going to change a lot of things, which wasn't right, which I opposed to in the first place, because I said it's not going to work. Well, they still did it. It didn't work. Now it's okay. It's about time to probably make some changes. Hopefully, those changes will be appreciated by the community. One of them probably scrapping the tax on Poodle, for example. Get zero tax. Joe, we are in a very small position. We can't afford people to have tax. And if you remember, I was one of the advocates that I was really for tax at the beginning, but we're talking a different scenario. We was at approximately 60 to 70 million market cap at the time. We had a huge volume. We have few million a day. We are in a different scenario now. We can't keep these taxes of 6% on Poodle, and then who is going to transact with those taxes, Joe? I mean, I'm not going to buy and sell with those taxes. Get them lower a little bit or scrap them completely. And then obviously I'm going to make trades. I'm going to enter into trades, get into trades. And not just me, many other people probably are going to do the same. I think it's a wrong thing to have anything implemented at the moment that reduce the volume and stop people from trading. We need people to buy and sell our tokens. That's one. And then we have the staking, another big mistake. Really, I mean, how can we stake Poodle? We barely survive, man. We have a few £100 a day or 1,000 a day or few thousands a day volume, and we ask people to stake their Poodle. Then who is going to sell? Who is going to buy? Who is going to make trades? How are we going to show a little bit of a volume in coin market cap? We don't have that. Who is going to invest on us? When you go into market cap and say in coin market cap, sorry, and you see like, I don't know, $100 a day or $200 a day in Poodle transaction, who is going to invest on Poodle? I mean, you need to think about these things. So we need to make sure that the volume go up. We're talking increasing the volume, I don't know, few tens of times, hundreds of times, and then probably people will start looking into Poodle, We are going to get some kind of notice,
I think you make a lot of good points. I think one of the things we have to recognize is the change in the market and how we have to be successful moving forward, right? And where we're at 6%, it's even 10%. I mean, we talked about raising it up a ton of times before. That's tough. That's tough in a market like this.
Exactly.
And and vice versa. But there's one thing that I do like is how we do have a little of everything for everybody. But also we need to think about what I respect from what you're doing is pulling it in and saying, okay, well, we need to turn this into a business, without giving away, something I can't say yet. I teased before, and the details of it.
Yeah.
But we have a major exchange that would love to have us. But one of the issue we ran into was we're not a certified business right now, and they said take care of that, and they will gladly take us on at no charge to us. And this is one of the top 3 major world exchanges, and one of the things when they reached out was they were impressed that we were still working and that we're still around, and they keep, they tag these things. They have people who watch stuff, and they're like, and they love it. But like you just said, we had someone had something over here, someone had something over here. We weren't a legal entity here. We weren't that. And I think that's as we come into the next bull market, if we don't fix that before the bull market, we're not going to be able to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
So I think that's
100%,
one of the, and that's what we have to do right now. And it was easy to not have to do that early because, like you said, when you've had $60 million market cap, Who cared about stuff like that? Well, now it matters, and we should have done it a long time ago, in order to really protect everybody, to protect the investors. And the good thing is everybody who's ever been in the leadership of this token has always cared about the community. They could have screwed the community over a number of times, and we're glad that that never happened because we're all stand-up people. But it could have happened, and now we have to make sure that we put the right safeguards in so that that can't happen, right? Especially as we get into the next
exactly. And Joe, now because we talk about this, it's very important for the community to understand something they probably even think about. You remember, I'm just giving something from the house now, but it's not a big deal. So you remember you shared the wallet, the how you call it, the keys of the Poodle wallet with us. It was just 2 weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. And then remember, from that point until last night, Sasha had access to that wallet. I mean, Sasha had access to that wallet all the time. Sasha didn't touch the funds. So I want people to stop thinking that Sasha is a kind of a criminal or whatever they think there are some of them, because he's not. He's such a honest guy on that respect. I mean, man, he had access to those funds. He didn't touch them. He didn't.
Yeah.
And I just changed the ownership of the wallet. It was just last night. And we just transferred the tokens just last night. So he had all this time in the world to get those tokens if he wanted to sell, but he didn't. So he cared about the community. So those who have any doubts about Sasha, that, he's this kind of a guy who did, okay, he may have his downside. Well, Joe, we all have. Come on. We all have the downside, right? But that downside to take people money and to do something with that, that's not Sasha, right? So, all the respect for the guy. He really worked very hard, 2 years. He didn't manage to succeed. That's okay. Someone else will. But he handed out everything very properly, and he didn't took anything that wasn't his. It's just true. That's what it is. And I like that. I mean, that I really like, Sasha. It's very, very unbelievable.
I will say to people too, nobody else stepped up in the middle of the bear market to take on how much he did. You tell you what, it's probably a lot easier to manage. It's a lot easier to manage a project when everything's going well. A lot harder when everyone coming at you and every other comment is, well, what's going on? What's going on? How come we're not going up? Even during a bear market, it's like the entire market is down, and yet people would come on and start attacking him and it's like, it was crazy. And he was such a stand-up guy. I mean, I just sitting there with him and Elle in Portugal and us having that beer together. It was like, this man is as genuine as you would ever find. Someone who really cared about the community more than I could ever imagine.
Joe. He does. You're right. He does. 100% he does. And you know what? I think we have a lot of work to somehow have these communities, both of, Pet and Poodle, join together, man. Because look like it's a kind of a discrepancy between people who are invested in Pet and people who are invested in Poodle. They probably see them differently. Oh, I don't care about it because I don't have any investment in Poodle. I just have investment in Pet. Hey, watch this, okay? It's going to be a very, very big mistake for those who don't invest in Poodle and they just hold the Pet. And it's going to be a very, very big mistake for those who don't invest in Pet and they just hold Poodle. 100 million %. I guarantee you that. So we are going to work very, very hard to join these projects together, not to be like one project. They are going to be completely independent, but they are going to be like in tandem with each other. So they are both going to be the same. There is no Pet without Poodle, and there is going to be no Poodle without Pet. Whoever thinks different is just wrong. It won't work that way. And you will see that we are going to make it happen. We have very, very massive ideas for Poodle, how to make it work, how to have a great use case for it. And we already have a great use case for Pet. But that doesn't mean that Pet is somehow more advanced than Poodle is. No, Sasha somehow, with all his inabilities, how others call, managed to create this Pet, and it works, right? So all thanks to Sasha that we have Pet, and it's all thanks to Sasha that we still have Poodle. Because if you remember, Sasha stepped in when the other guys left and ran. And he did step in to save whatever could be saved at the time. And he did it. So let's just think that we are going to join. We are going to make sure that both projects have equal success, and they will have success, both of them, without any hesitation. We are going to work on that very, very hard to happen. And then people need, the community needs to understand that. If they think that, no, I don't know. Let me just get I don't know 100,000 pet. I don't care about poodle. Wrong. You better get pet and poodle because you will find yourself that you can't buy poodle anymore because it's too expensive. And that is how it's going to be. That's how we plan to do. We won't separate these two things. We won't do it. So that is one thing that I want to make very clear to the community. Both of these projects are going to work one for each other, and they're going to be equal for us. So we are not going to make any differences on
100%. 100%. So to kind of fill the people in as they kind of they just know the wallet, all the funds of the wallets have been moved. The wallets are secure. Yes. The contract is secured. Everything is going under multi-sig. So no one person can do anything.
Exactly.
And so that's all protected. We're working on that. So now that has now happened as of the last day. So what now are we working? What can people expect for the next 30 to 60 days?
So for the next 30 or 60 days, I expect to have it all in terms of transferring the domains. And, we have this website to migrate from the old hosting to the new one. We expect all that to be completed the next couple of days, probably to a week time, let's say. And then once we have that under control, we are going to move forward. We are going to announce a proper announcement, the vision that we have for the future for both of the projects. In each room, we are going to post the same thing, so then everybody is aware what's going to happen with Pet and Poodle together. And the first thing that I'd like to do immediately after we finish this transition, I'm going to announce the partnership that we already made with another crypto project, because they are going to donate us some funds, and that's a very good thing. And that's going to happen from now for a very, very long time, as long as they will operate. And that's a very good thing, because we need funds, as you know that. And other than that, there are other people that really want to step in and help with funds. They are going to probably look into it too. We need to find a CEO. I'm not going to be the CEO of Poodle. I don't want to do that. I just want to oversee how everything works. So probably we'll need to find a CEO, a guy who actually will talk about Poodle, will represent the Poodle community, in the AMAs and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that guy yet. None of the team members, not Gary, Simon, I talked to all of them. They don't want that. I don't think you're in a position to do it. That's what I mean. So we need to find someone that will. And then once we do that, we are going to make sure that the guy is responsible for, spreading the word around, participate to the AMA, have video chats, voice chats, whatever we need to have the community questions, answers. There are so many questions. I receive every day so many questions. There are so many members in the community that are very, very keen to make it work. And I'm so happy to see that they are so evolved into it, and I like those questions and those concerns to be addressed, each and every one of them. So I think for the next few weeks, you can't expect much more, how we call that, progress in terms of massive changes, because we still need to put everything under control. But after that, when everything is it's sorted, yes, we are going to move forward with a very, very, very big force on all fronts. And what I am happy with, Joe, and that didn't happen before, we have this guy on board, Simon. He's such a good organizing guy. He's really putting everything very properly. So each of us is held accountable for whatever we are doing. And I like that very much, because that we never had before. It was like a kind of everyone did what they thought, it's okay to do. And nobody cared what you did or what I did or whoever. It was a total mess. That's not going to happen anymore. Each of us, we have very proper defined roles, what we are going to do, how it's going to work, what you're going to do this week, we are going to do next week, what did you do last week, or why you didn't do that last week because you said you are going to do it, that kind of thing. It's very important for us to have this very proper organization internally, so then, we can work on things, make sure that things are done, and then move to the next stuff. And next task, and then so on, so yeah, in the next few weeks, not much, but as soon as we have it all under control, things will change drastically, and I'm sure that people will like what we are going to do. And one other thing which I want to make sure that I tell you here is that I have very big plans on Poodle to somehow make sure that we have a nice use case for it. Now, that's going to probably happen in the next few months. I would say probably 2 or 3 months when we will make that announcement, and that will happen. It's already in progress. I'm not going to disclose much. So as I agree with the team that that's how it's going to work, then I'll let you know, and then everybody will know. So that's going to probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks, maybe we'll make that announcement too, and then just get to work. I really think that if we make Poodle to have a proper use case, just like pet have, people will start investing in Poodle and will start liking Poodle just like they like the pet. And then I think these two together, they can really have a very, very big success. They are part of the same ecosystem at the end of the day, Joe, and we can't deny that. We can't just say, oh, Poodle is coming from somewhere else and pet is coming from somewhere else, even though that in a way true, because I think pet was part of the Bridges project. So yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit of a history there, but it doesn't really matter. In the end, it's just Poodle Exchange token. It's not named differently, and they will stay Poodle Exchange token, right? We are glad, by the way, to announce that actually we secured the domain for Poodle Exchange. We still have the domain poodltoken.com to be secured on our side, but I want to assure the community that the domain is in very good hands and very safe hands. It's just that the principle that we have to have everything under one roof probably interfere a little bit with the principle of the persons who hold the domain. But it doesn't really matter too much, because I think in the end, he will understand that we want to have control on that too, and he will give it to us. And I'm sure 100 million% that even if he won't do it, he's not going to do anything that will actually impact
Yep, I totally agree.
in any
And I
way.
think, yep, yeah, no. So I think one of the things that we want to recognize too is that part of our key is securing everything, and that's really the main thing right now, and turning this into the long-term successful business. That's the one thing we have to do, and we're doing and we're working on right now, and that's going to give us the biggest success in the future, no matter what, right? And it's something that we really should have done along having the website, really turning this into one ecosystem, like you said. Like if people need to think of Poodle as one thing that has multiple aspects, that has the exchange, that has the token, that has NFT, not as in all these different things. And that's going to be really, I think, that one of the keys to our long-term success is to go, hey, and if you look at some of the other key, successful tokens that have ecosystems, whether they be, the shibs, or they have, the Bored Apes NFT, like the ecosystem is one brand with multiple facets. And we're kind of, for some reason, are the other way around. We're multiple facets with a billion brands, but we're still only one. And I think as we kind of come in and we formalize the organization and we formalize the ownership of everything, and we pull together as to a business entity, then that's going to help us in the long run, because then there's one thing that people look at and they invest through, but then they can invest in multiple ways. And I think that's kind of where we kind of came at it backwards, in the right intentions, but just came out to it backwards.
I agree, Joe. It's a bit of a work to do, but once it's done, everything will be just easy to manage for everybody, right? I can't even think it was that case. I think it was in United States when one guy holding an exchange, and then I think it was like $400 million into it or something like that, and then he suddenly just died. I mean, it was just a very tragic case, but he died. He was 40 years old or something, right? And then they, even today, they just to the funds, right? So imagine that happening into any type of business, how much of a loss that is. And it's nobody's fault. I mean, the guy just passed away. Okay, it's his fault that he didn't put the things right, but then that doesn't mean that we can hold him accountable now, because he's gone, right? So now who you hold accountable? I mean, your money is gone. What do? How do you get it back? You can go to the police. Nobody will help you out. You can't go to the government. They will say, I'm sorry, man, we don't have access to it. The guy just died with the keys, and that's it. There's no keys. There's no money. So we don't want these kind of things to happen. That's why I'm so happy that we took this initiative especially on the Simon side, because he really insisted into it, to have everything very properly centralized and make sure that it's all in there and everybody knows. I mean, the team members, they know that if something happened to one of them, it doesn't really matter. The end doesn't, the wall doesn't end, so we just carry on, right? So
Yeah.
that's so nice to have that kind of a structure,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
I think I can feel that we are going to get big and huge. And when you get big and huge, it's very difficult to manage if you are not organized. It's absolutely a disaster, right? So you need to be organized. You need to be able to manage this kind of I don't know, expansions. Just imagine simple. Just imagine you have 100 moods in both charts, because you probably need at one point to probably have a 50 moods on both
Hmm.
charts, right? And then each of them, they don't even know what to talk. They don't even know where to get the
Hmm.
information from, because nobody's telling them anything. They just talk what they think they can talk about, but they won't be able to find any information anywhere because nobody's giving it to them. Well, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen. I am
Yeah.
talking the same language like you're going to talk. You are going to talk what Simon is going to talk, and all the moods are going to say exactly the same thing, because we are going to be properly organizing every single bit of information that we have, and every single bit of work. We will know each one of us what the other one is doing. I think that's very important to succeed. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
mm,
Yeah, no, this was great. I'm so glad that you're able to come on today. So I just have one last question for you, and that's really a tangible thing. What should a current holder or someone in the community do right now? What can they do to help best right
okay, so first of all, I think they should watch very carefully what they are doing. Okay, I'm not going to tell anybody to invest anything into any of the two projects. Okay, let them just watch, see what we are doing, follow what we are saying, and see if what we are saying is happening, because that's very important. And then they can be okay. They can be, I mean, I can assure them that we are absolutely confident and convinced that we are going to make this a success. But I am not going to tell them to invest into any of the two, because it's not the right thing to do. What I would say though is that Poodle and Pet will become a success, because that is 100% sure in my head, and not just on my head, on all the members of the team. They think the same. We are going to make it huge and big. Now it's
now?
up to them whether they just decide to stay on the side and watch until we make 100x from here and then start to invest. That's their problem. But what I do want to say is that we will definitely get big. We will definitely be a success. And then it's up to them if they are going to be inside or outside. They can just, do whatever they decide. But we'll get there, Joe. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
totally
not.
agree. I love your confidence with it. I believe in it, and I've seen the things that you've been doing over this last month have just been fantastic. I love how you're taking the reins, and I love how you just. One of the things I respect the most here is how, like you said, we're going to find a CEO. We're going to find all the right people. You didn't come into this, and Simon didn't come into this, and Gary for a power grab. I'm not here for a power grab. We're all here just to support the community, support the token, and be successful. And in the end, we all make a lot of money, and
Exactly.
that's
Absolutely.
really what we've always looked at. So I respect that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
again, so thank you. Well, I won't.
What I can do on my side, what I'm doing on my side now that I'm on board of this, I keep telling my friends, hey, look, somehow happened that I managed to to get control on the things. You just relax, make sure that you don't panic, and then everything will be fine. And then if you really decide to put more, it's up to you. Just do it. But I'm not stopping to talk about Poodle and Pet, because Joe, not many projects in the crypto space you can find an opportunity to invest at these kind of levels. If you look
Hmm.
at Poodle, you can see that Poodle now is at lowest level possible, even when they entered the market. Because Joe, I was here right at the beginning. So even when they entered the market, they went at approximately four something. So now we are 3.8, 3.6, 3.7. We go around that
Hmm.
area. So it is just below to where we enter. To enter into a project at this level is like you'd buy Bitcoin at 10 cents or 15 cents
Hmm.
or 20 cents. It doesn't matter that we are not going to make 65,000%. It doesn't really matter that. It's just that the level of entry, it's so great and so excellent on both projects, even PET. PET is at lower level. So, if you think
Hmm.
about how nice the level of investment is at the moment, I think it's a very, very, very nice point to entry. It's just so beautiful. And then I don't see much lower side from here, because I'll tell you why. Can you see how reluctant people are to sell? They don't bother, even though. So what we see, that we go down 20% a day or whatever, sometimes 10%, 15%. Most of it is because BNB is dropping, and then some sales here and there for a little bit, but people usually hold. Holders are holding what they have. And if you think at the bigger scale, look at the liquidity pool. We only have there about 3 point something trillion, right? So it's not even a lot. If someone comes now with 10,000, the whole liquidity pool is empty. There's nothing there. So, and the price will probably do 3, 4, 5x in just a few days. So that's how good of the level is. And that's just 10,000 pounds. But imagine someone is just dropping in 20,000 pounds or 30,000. You can't even control this thing. So that thing doesn't happen on many projects. Not many projects are at this level when we can really say, oh, wow, it's so low, it's so good to get in. But like I said, I'm not telling people to get in. It's just that the way I feel about it is that we really have a very, 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 very long run ahead of us, and it's just a lot of room to grow. That's my opinion is, and we will grow.
Totally. Totally agree. Well, this was great. It was great having you on and getting the encouragement, and hopefully it has helped a lot of people just get feel more comfortable too and know what we're doing. So I love it. I want to thank you again. Thank you for your dedication, and just a last thing to the Poodle community: take Alex's advice. Make sure that you be in here, find ways you can help, support, hold. And like I always say, dollar cost average is your time to load up. It's a great time to get in and help out. So thank you, everybody. This was fantastic. Thank you, Alex. And we will see you all on the Twitter. We'll see you on the Telegram, and I'll see you again 7 days from now back on the show.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, where's my slide? Can't play my slide or my music, so here we go. There we go. See y'all.